Abstention? The item passes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Jones. So, colleagues, we are now ready to consider the consent agenda. As I call roll, each trustee should state any consent agenda items he or she would like held for discussion. I'll begin with Trustee Williams.
Thank you, Madam President. I would like to pull items 6.3, 6.4, 6.5, 6.6, 6.11, and 6.12.
Thank you, Trustee Williams. Trustee Patrick?
I had 6.5 and 6.11, which she has already called and pulled.
Okay. Trustee Key?
None.
Trustee Trung?
None.
Trustee Moreno?
None.
Trustee Spurlock?
None.
And my item was already mentioned. Okay, Dr. Mays, does the administration have any items they would want held from the consent agenda
I believe it's
for
already.
discussion?
Yes, ma'am. I believe it's already been called 6.4.
Okay. 6.4. All right. So thank you. So to summarize, the following items have been held for discussion. 6.3, 6.4, 6.5, 6.6, 6.11, 6.12. I am now ready to entertain a motion to accept the consent agenda minus those items which have been held for discussion. Do I have a motion to accept today's consent agenda minus those items which have been held?
So moved.
We have it moved by Trustee Patrick
Second.
and seconded by Trustee Trung. All those in favor, please raise your hand. We have 7 for, 0 against, and 0 abstention. The item passes. Now we are ready to consider those consent items which have been held for discussion. Our first item held for discussion is agenda item 6.3. And Trustee Williams?
Thank you, Madam President. I guess to the extent that we can discuss openly, I don't think it's any questions of Dr. Veloz Powell. Which item is this, Mr. Woods or Dr. Powell? Dr. Powell. I will be honest and say that I was concerned when I saw the resignation report. And I did not have an opportunity to do my own research, but I don't think I've ever seen so many numbers.
Present this every year. I share that information with you. I will provide you with a staff report at the beginning of the year, but this year we do see a high number of resignations. I think that's nationwide, but I will, from now until school starts, keep providing that to you so that you can see the number of resignations and the new hires.
Okay, I just wanted to say it was quite surprising, especially considering areas where we're doing attrition or whatever, not hiring, and then you're losing, and then we're doing job fairs. So now I understand why I'm getting calls as a trustee on there's conflicting messages on whether, are we filling positions? Are we in a deficit? So that was quite alarming. So I'm going to also ask, could you please provide in board notes as well? Because one of the first things I thought of doing was going back, seeing what our resignation numbers look like at the end of the school year every year. So it would be helpful to know what those numbers look like over the last 5 years, as well as a detailed report on the types of reasoning behind individuals leaving. And I know in the past we have had those reports, but I didn't see that in here other than just what was on the listing. So, and it was a bit much for me to sit there and try to do that when I know that you guys have reports in which you can.
So you're referring to our staffing reports. We usually provide that to you in September or October, but we try to get the same data each year, but I can provide you with our last 5 years. I do have that readily available.
Yeah, and it would be good, to get it on the standard, but as things have changed since COVID,
Yes.
and
Yes.
people are making various decisions about districts that they would like to work in, it would be helpful for us as a board to kind of monitor and to see that information as well, so that we could either be proactive or whatever, allow individuals to come up with innovative solutions into retaining, because we know that retention has always been a priority, a board priority.
Absolutely. Yes, I will share that in board notes.
Okay. Madam President, I don't have any other questions on that other than I would like to see the report. And if possible, Dr. Veloz-Powell, I know I may be reaching, but charts. I don't want to just see the numbers, and I know we can't see names, but I want to see a chart of a bar graph, or what that looks like over time.
Sure. I do have them in charts, so I'll be glad to provide that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Trustee Williams. Is there
On
any?
6.4,
Yes, I was. We're
3, we're on 3?
We,
Okay.
yes. Are there any further comments or questions regarding agenda item 6.3?
I think I would like to, I was a little alarmed myself. Just as Trustee Williams, at some of the reasons for such a extensive list. And I am concerned about retention, very much so. And I think we need to discuss this further, and what we can do to attract and keep and just broaden our scope of who we can attract to our school district. I don't know how many were last year, but this year I was alarmed. So that's all I have to say on 6.3.
Dr. Patrick, to your statement, to Dr. Veloz-Powell, it'd be helpful to, we're not the expert in this field, but it would be helpful to understand what dynamics have changed to make those numbers so great.
Okay, I'll
So
provide
large.
something in board notes that
Okay.
reflects that information.
All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Trustee Patrick. And now we have Trustee Key.
I would also like to see the surrounding districts, how they're comparing in resignations to their same time last year, just to see if they have that same major difference that we have seen this year. So our bordering districts is fine for me.
So I provided that for last year, but for this year, our resignation deadline is Thursday, so I should have clean data by next week. So it may be the following week that I provide that for you.
That's fine. Thank
Okay.
you.
Uh-huh.
Thank you, Trustee Key. Any other comments? Okay, thank you. So I'm now ready to, hearing no further requests for discussion, may I have a motion to approve agenda item 6.3?
So moved, Madam President. If people desire to resign, then I don't think any one of us should stand in the way of that. So moved.
Okay, I have it moved by Trustee Williams.
Second.
Seconded by Trustee Spurlock. All those in favor, please raise your hand. We have 7-4.
Oh, you have 6.
I apologize. 6-4. Any against? Any abstentions? Okay, we have 6-4, 0 against, and 1 abstention. The item passes. Thank you. So now we're ready to consider agenda item 6.4. And Trustee Williams, I know that there's a couple of other people. I know it was mentioned by Trustee Patrick and Superintendent Mays.
The only thing that was alarming to me, I couldn't see any data. So I don't know, was there a report or a change? So it would be helpful. And if it's not, then I would recommend not having that in the agenda if we're not approving new hires. But I'll leave that to you all. Maybe it's something that I missed. 'Cause I didn't see any names on the report of all the years that we've had it listed on the agenda. I didn't see any new administrators. Is that 6-4? 6-4 is consider approval of new administrators, correct?
Correct. So we sent the board notes, the recommendations, and that we would be bringing it to board approval tonight. So those were sent to you in the board notes.
Okay.
And it's in the
So
board agenda.
I didn't, because that's a new process for me. I would like to see them in here as well, you know, on the
To be
list.
hired, yes, they will be introduced as well.
No, not introduced. We would normally see the information. So I guess I'm a little confused about the fact that they were given to us in board notes, because we received information of administrators in board notes about a month ago, right? So to say that they're in board notes, but I don't see them as a part of this packet, that kind of, you know, when I'm reading the packet, I want to see it all in.
They are in the packet. I'm not sure why they didn't get printed. I can go print them for you, but it was in our board.
It's okay. I'll go ahead and refer to the board notes, but
Okay.
you know.
We'll address it, President. I'm sorry, Trustee Williams. Looking at that being included in the board book, because what I hear you saying is you can't see it in board book, which is something that President Bro also pointed out. So
Is it in board book? Is that data in board book?
No, it's not.
It was sent out sooner than what we got it in there because we got late referrals. So by the time I got all the referrals in, I put it in board book. So it is in the most recent board book. I don't know which version you received. I can go print that for you.
It's
So,
okay. I'll refer back to the board notes, but it's okay. Thank you, Madam President. So
I think what the question is the board gets a board packet that I think is a version of what is available on board book at a particular point in time. And so what the board needs to know is if the version they get is the final version or if they should still be electronically checking board book, because that packet that they get physically could be updated after that physical presentation or distribution to them. I think that's the question that Trustee Williams has.
right. Because I'm looking at when I received from initially, numbers are different than even what's in my hand. So it'd be helpful to see all of the information so that I know what I'm making a decision on the night of. Thank you, I appreciate it.
Thank you, Trustee Williams. Any further comments or discussion?
So we do have some individuals that we wanted to recognize. I think that Trustee Marino pointed out before about us voting being appropriate. And so I didn't know if we wanted to go ahead and address the voting component first, especially given what Trustee Williams was just sharing about not having the information on the individuals. And so I want to at least get that in your hands before we move forward. I know that we did put it in board notes, but I understand where the concern that she presented. So I do want to get that in your hands before we address that item. And so we could go ahead and move to the next few items so we can get that to the dais.
Thank you. All right, so we will table 6.4 and we will move on to agenda item 6.5. Trustee Williams?
The problem has been resolved. Again, I know that we received several updates and board notes concerning resolutions, but the final copy was not a part of the board packet. And maybe it's just the fact of I've read my board packet for years, and this whole thing about go and look at board books, maybe I missed it. But I was looking for this resolution, and I did not see the final version of it. So thank you, attorneys, for providing it. I want to scan through it before I make an approval.
If I could add some clarity to Ms. Williams, you're absolutely right. That was inadvertently not on the board book packet that was sent out, and we have not engaged a new process where you're to check board book after the fact. So that is definitely not your fault. It's an inadvertent mistake on our part of sending out that packet before the attachments, and you need those in your hand before you do a vote. That's why you have this resolution, and you're rightful to ask for that before taking a vote on those materials. So thank you for pulling that and letting us get a printed copy in your hands.
Thank you.
Thank you, Charles, because 6.5 I had issue with too. I couldn't find anything on it. And can't vote on something you don't even have.
It was just passed out by Ms.
Yes, I have it now.
Okay,
I
yes, sir.
haven't got to vote on something tonight, and we just got it. So
that resolution, because it is doing something for employees. But our apologies for not having that on the packet. That definitely is inadvertently left off.
So it was my understanding that there was a minor change or a final change to it. Is it possible to ask the individual who drafted this to speak on what was that change? Madam President, is that okay?
Yes, I'll turn that over to Superintendent Mays.
Yes, Mr. Nichols, can you share the updates that were added to the resolution and why we had to go ahead and make that move in terms of the changes?
May I proceed?
Yes, sir, please.
So the idea behind 6.5 is very similar to the other resolutions the board has already voted on. This is a very specific one that would include a $1,000 retention for manual trades and all paraprofessionals in good standing that were employed as of 6/26 as far as for this year and to start the first day of school. It would appear in the September 30th. I'm good. Thank you. It would appear in the September 30th payroll, just like the other resolutions that the board has done. But this was to capture those individuals as well who were not in the other resolutions. Those individuals is the ones that are before the board tonight.
thank you.
Anybody else?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Nichols. Are there any further comments, discussion?
I'd just like to share one thing so that it's clear. For manual trades, that includes custodial, transportation, maintenance, any of those type of positions are considered manual trades. And any paraprofessional will include clerical paraprofessional, instructional paraprofessional, so anybody in those pay categories are eligible for this retention.
Thank you for that clarification, Dr. Powell.
Okay, thank you. So hearing before I mention that, because we just received this, do you all want to table this to allow you time to read through it?
No, I'm good. I just want to make sure of that, of the changes that has progressed. So,
Okay.
Madam President, I'd like to move to approve the resolution as was in this final state and in the board members' hands at this time.
Okay, it was moved by Trustee Williams. Is there a second? Okay,
Second.
and it was seconded by Trustee Moreno. All those in favor?
Just making it clear for the record that you are moving to approve 6.5 as presented tonight by the administration.
Okay, do I need to repeat that, or you?
That would be good.
Okay, just for clarification, we are approving, moving toward voting on agenda item 6.5
As presented.
as presented
By administration.
by the administration. All right, so I'll start again with, do I have a motion?
So moved.
So moved by Trustee Williams and seconded by Trustee Moreno. All those in favor, please raise your hand. We have 7-4, 0 against, 0 abstained. The item passes. Now we will move on to item 6.6.
Madam President, I do not intend to belabor or to this portion. What I was concerned with was this item is listed on the consent agenda, which means that there are no discussions of it. Is there a particular reason why this was moved to the consent agenda, as it is not an item that has to be voted on? Are we skipping the process of reporting? I noticed that Superintendent Mays, stated he wanted feedback on our new process.
No, ma'am. Typically on those monthly reports, whether they've required an approval or not, they've been listed on the consent agenda if there's no particular reason to call it out other than a regular agenda item. This particular report this month just so happens that we added a new version of looking at the construction summary report, which our finance department put together along with construction trades, which snapshots all the projects in the 2021 referendum with the percent complete on the project, as well as the amount encumbered, the amount expended to date, the vendors, the architect, the engineer, and the general contractors, as a finite summary you can see at a snapshot, so to speak, a summary of where we are in the 2021 referendum as a monthly status. And this will be ongoing, and it's also been posted on our 2021 bond referendum page as nothing more than a snapshotted dashboard look at a glance, our entire 21 bond referendum as of this month.
But to your point, Trustee Williams, we still want the feedback to improve the product, to make sure that that's clear for everybody. I think myself, Ms. McBride, Eric, we've all been working on trying to refine that process, so we're still open to feedback to strengthen that.
Okay. So I see this as an item, I think, Mr. Woods, we've had like on board workshop when it was extensive. So that's why I was kind of surprised that it was here. But I do note that there'll be more conversations about these items because of the construction that's ongoing right now, correct?
Yes, ma'am. And we're actively trying to take the feedback that you all have given us over the last few years and mold it into something that's more readable at a glance for board members to kind of know the status of where projects are.
Okay.
So.
All right. I am pleased with the new dashboard layout. My question is that viewable for the public as well?
Yes, ma'am. It was put on our website under District Information 2021 Bond Referendum. There's a project updates link on the left, and we have this as well as those PowerPoints that's a prescribed format that are in board notes every week. We have both of those now on that website, and we'll keep them updated when we put them in board packets also.
Okay. Is there a plan to put that into the dashboard? You guys had a tool in the past, or is it just because that's what we call static information, which requires people to have to upload.
Yeah, so not currently because it is
ongoing.
Payments are in arrears on projects, so it's always going to be somewhat of a staggered process to get up to date. And so what we try to do is just settle on, okay, let's get a permanent status update once a month on all projects, but on the ones that we put in that PowerPoint format for you guys weekly, those are weekly updates on the big projects. So if you happen to see a project, go, well, that doesn't look like it's coming along very good. You could see right there, the weekly snapshot says no progress has been made, waiting on permits or whatever the issue might be.
Okay.
But down the road, yes, I would assume that we could get to a point where we have a very interactive dashboard for you and the public.
And I just wanted to add something, Mr. Woods. You made me think, went through some trainings this week, and the key word is for a board member is to look at student outcomes. And most people would wonder, why do I ask the question about construction projects? But if we have to meet our community where they are. And if the conversation is not going on about those construction projects, then when parents state, why don't we have X, Y, Z, some kind of way, they have to marry. So that's why I like the tool and the dashboard that's being presented. I wanted to make sure that the public had access to that. The one last thing on it, I saw that it was related to the 2021 bond election, bond deal. But the previous, is it out there, the previous bond?
So we haven't been actively updating it because most of the projects there are in closed out phase. And so we could do a less frequent update to that and make the same listing. That's, I guess, 8 years worth of projects. So we can work on that.
I'm okay with us doing what we're doing now, but I think that in the future, something's going to come up where we say, what did we do 5 years ago?
Sure.
So, but a great job in that. Thank you. Madam President, I'm good.
I did want to tell Mr. Woods and his team, thank you for being proactive. I think you all gave us feedback some time ago, and we've been taking that feedback and trying to distill it down into a product that works for everybody on the board as well as our community, so that they can be able to stay abreast of whatever updates we have as it relates to projects. So.
Thank you. All right, so if there's no further questions or conversation on agenda item 6.6, now is this one, it doesn't need to be voted, okay, so
No action.
We'll move on to agenda item 6.11. Ms. Williams?
Madam President, I just needed that item to be pulled separately from the consent agenda item. I have reviewed the changes for the board policy GF local and just needed it to be removed so I can vote on it separately. Thank you.
Okay, so are there any further questions, comments? All right, so hearing no further requests for discussion, may I have a motion to approve agenda item 6.6? 6.11? Okay, we have Trustee Key. May I have a second?
Second.
We have a second by Spurlock. Okay, all those in favor, please raise your hand. 6-4. Do we, any against? Any abstentions?
I like to abstain, Madam President. Thank you.
We have one abstention. So we have 6-4, 0 against, one abstention. The item passes. Next, we have agenda item 6.12. Trustee Williams.
Thank you for your patience to my colleagues. On item 6.12, I CH local, which refers to some of the, I don't have that one directly in front of me, but here's my notes. My notes are, as the revision is made in board policy, can administration share its intent to ensure that these are more than words on pages? Because when I read this, I had concerns on whether or not there are any plans. We do know that what is policy also has to be supported in some kind of way. So have there and you may not have to answer that tonight. I just want to put it out there. But that would be my concern, that we have the policy. We know that the opportunities that it provides, but at the same time, I'll be concerned on whether or not there will be any tracking or monitoring the effectiveness of even making those changes. Why change a policy if you don't see some results of it? So, and maybe that's for the superintendent too.
What I can say is, of course, abstractly, if we're changing the policy, the expectation is that we're going to improve the outcomes that we're trying to impact. Of course, at this point, since we're in the revision process, we haven't necessarily stood up the process for tracking this, I would say. Am I right in that, Mr. Woods? But I know that that's something that, of course, if it's a priority for this board, we're going to be making sure that we take care of it.
Yes, sir. And while it hasn't been written in such a way, I think a lot of this language came from another district's implementation, reviewed at the stage that we're in the disparity study process, that it fits right in that this will support what we're going to do with the disparity study and the outcome of the disparity study, which will help finalize what those procedures are going to be by administration. But to the tracking portion of it, absolutely, that's in place, and we'll continue that. And if nothing else, because of Mr. Tabor's engagement with the software vendor that the City of Houston uses to track, we're going to be able to reach further into the subcontractors' percentages as well. So it's every intent that we're going to execute on this to the extent allowable by law after we do the disparity study and implement those changes based on those findings.
Okay.
If that is an answer.
And I wanted to kind of follow up on this as well, because many times board members have conversations, and I know the public feels like they're not a part of the discussion, but the truth be told, as a board member, I am still focused on student outcomes, but we also committed to make sure that we had equitable practices within the district. And we don't just limit that just to academics. If students can't see individuals or vendors that look like them, then what is it that we're telling them? And not only that, I've always said that as our students are skilled and they graduate and they go into their own business, it would be advantageous for us to have some kind of system that they would understand as well, so that they can have opportunities to participate in some of the projects that are going on in the district. So I do see it as a part of supporting our students in the end. But I do appreciate this, Mr. Woods, and especially Adam, for taking on this. I knew that we had systems changes in our system, but I think I'm still at a point of how we're tracking it, and if there's a report. And maybe my colleagues are, doesn't have that great concern. I'm not trying to ask everyone to go and dig into the weeds on things. I just want that as we are talking to our community and someone asks the question, I can point to, yes, we made every attempt to be equitable in every facet of our district. It's not just a word. It is in policy, and it is an expectation that it occurs. So thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Williams, for bringing that point and discussion to the forefront. All right, is there any further discussion? Okay. Hearing no further discussion, may I have a motion to approve agenda item 6.12?
So moved.
We have it moved by Trustee Patrick. May I have a second?
Second.
Moved by Trustee Patrick, seconded by Trustee Williams. All those in favor? 7-4, 0 against, 0 abstention. The item passes. So now we will go back to agenda item 6.4. I'll give everyone a moment to.
Madam President and Administration, thank you for providing this. I did need to review this, so thank you, so that I can be very clear on the items that were from board notes and which board notes. So appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Williams. Any further comments or discussion? I'll give just a few more minutes for a couple of the trustees to finish. Good. All right, and I believe I will. So, hearing no requests for discussion, may I have a motion to approve agenda item 6.4?
So moved.
We have it moved by Trustee Moreno. May I have a second? Second. I have a seconded by Trustee Trung. All those in favor, please raise your hand. We have 7 for, 0 against, 0 abstention. The item passes.
Now y'all can clap.
Now I will turn it over to Superintendent Mays.
Thank you. And thank you, audience. I know that there's a lot of tension built up in that moment, given all of the movement here at the dais. But again, congratulations to those of you. First, we want to recognize Mr. Stephen Stapleton. If you don't mind coming up to the podium, please. So I'll start, and then we'll give you an opportunity to share. Mr. Stapleton will be our Associate Superintendent of Instruction for Elementary, and he's joining us from Houston ISD, where he serves as a Strategy School Support Officer. In this role, he works to support principal supervisors to strengthen the quality and impact of coaching and feedback provided to principals. Before this role, he served in Austin ISD and Portland Public Schools in Portland, Oregon, supervising elementary school principals. Before that, Stephen served as a principal at Fur High School in Houston ISD, tasked with rebuilding a historically underserved school. He developed a structure that led to increased student attendance and decreased discipline while utilizing a $10 million grant to instill innovations to support personalized learning, competency-based education, and environmental and social justice. Stephen also served as principal at McReynolds Middle School. Under his leadership, the school was tied for first in Texas in academic growth among schools with similar low socioeconomic status. During his 5 years as a Houston District Principal, he was twice given an Excellence in Leadership Award, recognized among 300 principals in the district. Stephen started his career as a science teacher in Texas and has also served as a department chair, curriculum specialist in instructional technology, assistant principal, and director of professional learning. Stephen earned a Bachelor of Science Biology from the University of Texas at Austin and a Master's of Education and Administration from Lamar University, and has completed his coursework for a Doctorate of Education and Educational Leadership from Texas A&M University. So you're a hybrid. So congratulations, and at this time we'll give you some time, give you a moment to share.
Well, thank you, trustees. Thank you, Dr. Mays. I've been looking forward to the opportunity to work here in Alief ISD. I've known about Alief ISD for a long time. My parents lived down in Pearland. I lived here in Houston, and it's a place I want to be. Alief has a great reputation, as you know, in the Houston area for being a family, being a place that has longevity of staff, and so I couldn't be happier to be here to work with the team that Dr. Mays has assembled and you all to support our elementary schools and to make our elementary schools the best here in the state. So thank you for that opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Stapleton, did you need to introduce anybody else?
Not tonight.
Okay. So next, and I know he has a crew with him, and he'll probably introduce some people. Mr. Michael McDonald, if you don't mind coming up to the podium. And so before we start reading this extensive bio. I'll let you go ahead and introduce your family that I believe you have, your twins back there.
Thank you. Who I have joining me tonight is my wife, Lashari. My youngest daughter, Mackenzie. My middle daughter, Mariah. And my oldest daughter, Micaiah.
All right. So Mr. McDonald is an accomplished education professional with over 22 years of experience. He began his career as a special education teacher and coach at H. Grady Spruce High School in Dallas ISD for 7 years. He then served as an assistant principal at J.J. Pierce High School and Lake Highlands High School in Richardson ISD for 5 years. In 2013, Mr. McDonald became the principal at Byrd Middle School in Duncanville ISD for 3 years before assuming the role at Cedar Hill High School for another 3 years. Currently, he holds the position of executive principal at Duncanville High School, where he is known for his collaborative leadership style and ability to inspire both students and staff. Mr. McDonald believes in creating a positive learning environment that encourages exploration, enhances student development, and promotes academic achievement. He holds a bachelor's degree in human performance from Jarvis Christian College and a master's degree in education administration from the University of North Texas. With his extensive experience and dedication to education, Ms. McDonald continues to inspire and empower students and educators to reach their full potential. He is passionate about high-quality teaching and learning, effective classroom management, and fostering strong interpersonal communication to bridge the gap between instructional intent and practice. So again, welcome to Alief ISD, Mr. McDonald.
Thank you, guys.
Now you get a chance to share.
Good evening, trustees, Superintendent Mays. It's a pleasure and an honor for me to stand here today and to be a part of the Alief family. As Stephen Stapleton stated, Alief has a rich tradition. I'm excited to be a part of the Alief family and to continue to build on the legacy and the strong traditions that Alief have. So I'm looking forward to getting started with the work. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Next, we have Ms. Sparks, who plays an integral role for this board and the team. You don't mind joining us? All right, you want to introduce your crew back there?
Yes, this is my fiance, Philip, and this is our daughter, Paisley Hare.
So, Ms. Sparks has been selected as a new board and chief of staff secretary. Ms. Sparks is a native of Houston, Texas. She began her career in education in 2010 at Spring ISD before transferring to Houston ISD, most recently working in Houston ISD on the G-Unity grant project as an administrative assistant. Her dedication to life and determination to overcoming all adversities is something she holds in high regard, and it is displayed in her work ethic, professionalism, and enthusiasm for education. She is ecstatic about joining the Alief ISD family and cannot wait to see the impact on the lives of all whom she will encounter. So, again, welcome to Alief ISD. Do you have anything you want to share with your new team up here?
Exactly what you just read. I am ecstatic. Education is near and dear to our heart. We have plenty of educators in our family. We've instilled that into this little person right here. So we are very excited to be a part of the Alief family.
Welcome. Next, we have Teacher Induction Program Coordinator, Ms. Monica Lee. So it sounds like you got quite a few people you need to introduce.
Yeah, I might need to look around the crowd just for a second to make sure I don't forget anyone.
So Ms. Monica Lee began her career in education as a math teacher at Kilo Middle School in 2007. During this time, she discovered a passion for working with struggling learners and became committed to doing whatever was necessary to see these students succeed. This dedication will be her driving force to lead a team of teachers as a math specialist at Hollup Middle School from 2013 to 2017. From there, Monica will spend the next 6 years guiding other specialists and campus leaders as a part of the school improvement and accountability team. Monica's passion for student success and desire to empower teachers fuels her drive and has led her to this new journey as a teacher induction coordinator. Monica firmly believes that being an educator is a calling and continues to do whatever is necessary to ensure students have the best opportunities to thrive. So congratulations on your new role.
Thank you very much.
And Now you have the microphone.
All right, thank you very much. I don't want to take us to church, but I definitely want to thank God for this blessing. I'd also like to thank Dr. Mays and the board for this amazing opportunity. I want to acknowledge Dr. Bellows-Powell, Dr. Marshall here in the crowd, and of course, Dr. Amin for all of your support and again, this amazing opportunity. My family that I have here with me today, my beautiful mother, her partner, Mr. Robert. Come on and stand. My youngest son, Tyler, who will be graduating from Taylor High School this year. And my husband, Theo. I also noticed some of my Hollop family here in the crowd. Thank you to Ms. Tukes, who has been a colleague, a mentor, and a friend. Thank you for everything. And Ms. Nixon, thank you both for being here this evening. And to anyone I missed, God bless you. Thank you so much for being here. I am very excited about this opportunity. Before I go, I would be remiss if I didn't say I am honored and humbled to be allowed to work with the new teachers that are going to be entering Alief ISD. I'm excited about sharing the passion, the energy, and the drive that makes this profession the most amazing profession there is. So thank you again for this opportunity.
Thank you. All right, and last but not least, we have this wonderful ball of energy.
Good evening.
Oh man, it takes all that energy as she will be assuming the role of the new SOAR program director. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So Alicia Kerr just completed her 24th year in education, having served 21 of those years right here in Alief ISD. After teaching at Kilo Middle School, Dr. Kerr moved to Taylor High School, where she worked as the lead interventionist and graduation coach. Here she developed a true passion for student interventions and working with students to help them recover credits in order to earn their high school diploma. In 2019, Dr. Kerr became an assistant principal at Elsick High School and worked as an assistant principal of accountability. After 6 years at Elsick, she transferred to Albright Middle School, where she has been an AP for the last 4 years. As an assistant principal, Dr. Kerr has been an instructional leader over various contents focused on programming for special populations, and work to increase attendance rates. She exudes school spirit, loves kids, and is excited about this new opportunity to serve in Alief, and we're excited to have you. So
Yes.
I'll turn the microphone over to you, Dr. Kerr.
All right. Well, board, Dr. Mays, thank you all so much for this opportunity. I'm ecstatic to go to SOAR and serve in this capacity. I remember working at Elsick, walking over to SOAR thinking, I want to do this. I want to do this. So thank you, Jesus, for making it come to fruition. So again, thank you so much for this opportunity. Dr. Kerr, you've been there since I started doing this stuff at Taylor, so thank you. Hilda, thank you so much for everything. Lori, Wyatt, thank you. I've grown under such wonderful leaders. Thank you to my Alief, but my Elsick Army. I have many great friends here in my Alief family. So I am ready to get going, and I'm ready for our students where what is it? Successful outcomes are reality. So that's what we're going to do at SOAR. So, and I'd like to recognize my mom. We did it, Mom. We did it. And then my special little friends, Will and Bellamy Tones. So love y'all. Thank you for being here. So, and all my friends, thank you so much. I love y'all. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. So I do want to recognize that again, this work does not get done alone. And so, you know, whether it's the team back there in the audience clapping and encouraging, or the families that are patiently waiting as these individuals put in long hours to make sure that we ensure successful outcomes for our students, we appreciate you all supporting us. And again, we thank you all for loaning your family members to Alief ISD. And we look forward to you all doing several long years right here doing more work for our students. So thank you.
Thank you, Just a little bit of excitement. All right. Well, if it pleases the board, I would like to take a 10-minute break, just so that they can take pictures and everybody can welcome them in the A-Leaf way to our A-Leaf family. So if that's okay with the board, we'll adjourn this meeting at 7:46 and we will reconvene at 7:56. Thank you.